When you say things like 1 times 1 is equal to 2, or that there is no 0, you have to you have to give the context to explain why what you're actually trying to state. And so, as I've said on here many times before, context is information. If you're not giving context, you're not actually conveying anything. So you hear people say, reality is information. Reality is energy. Reality is matter. Reality is time. Reality is space. Reality is frequency. Reality is vibration. Reality is strings. Reality is ideas. All of these things mean almost nothing outside of them being stated within a specific context. If somebody says to you, reality is computation, what does that even mean? There's this constant like dance in physics of like, no, reality is information, now it's energy, now it's computation at its core, now it's time. Time is fundamental. Lee Cronin said this, says this a lot. Time is fundamental. Fundamental to what? You can't say these things outside of context. It doesn't convey anything. Because context is information. It's not just words. Words outside of context mean nothing. And I think that that's the biggest hindrance with people who are trying to describe something new while using words that currently exist to describe things that are not new. And is you have to have the context of what they're of everything that they're talking about. You have to know my work to know exactly what I'm saying. It's interesting because when I first wrote my paper, started writing my paper, the abstract, which if you go to sentientsingularity.com, singularity, the word singularity was making everybody get hung up because they're associating with black holes and what they've heard about black holes, really not with actually anything about black holes that they really understand, but just like what they've heard. A singularity is a black hole, or a singularity at the beginning of the Big Bang, and I wasn't using it like that. I was using it like meaning something that is especially unique and something that is singular, like one thing. That's all I was using it as. The word singularity means, they associated it with meaning black holes though. And so they thought I was talking about like sentient black holes and stuff, and they were just really confused. And eventually I had to just write out the definition of sentient and singularity and how I was using it in my abstract. And then as soon as people read it after I included the definition, everybody was like, oh yeah, actually this is super easy. This makes perfect sense. It's like context matters. It's not just words. Grasp the context of somebody's thoughts just by watching a single stream of them or a single clip. I'm not going to claim to understand Terrence Howard's everything that he's saying, but I'm just claiming the guy is saying things that it's not that outside the realm of what I think is pretty obvious in certain respects.